This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Pensacola State Today. I'm your host, Drexel Gilbert. Coming up on today's program, the man who is hailed as potentially the greatest trumpeter of all time is headed to Pensacola. We'll find out why Wynton Marsalis will be making beautiful music right here at home and how his performance will benefit the Pensacola State College Performing Arts Program. PSC President Dr. Ed Meadows joins us today to discuss progress on the recovery from the April floods. He'll talk about what we need to know about fall registration and the transfer of AA degrees, and show us how middle school students are getting a closer look at the world of science on the PSC campus. If a picture is truly worth 1,000 words, then a definite treasure is headed to the PSC campus. You will be able to view some of the most breathtaking photographs ever taken by a world-renowned National Geographic photographer. And honoring 2 teachers who are top of the class. First today, Pensacola State College will present jazz icon Wynton Marsalis in concert July 26. Marsalis is internationally acclaimed as a musician, composer, band leader, and educator. He's hailed as potentially the greatest trumpeter of all time. He became the first jazz musician ever to win the Pulitzer Prize for Music, and now he's headed to Pensacola. Here to tell us why and how this performance will benefit the Performing Arts Program at Pensacola State College is Don Snowden. Don is the department head for Performing Arts at PSC. And Don, welcome to our program today.
Well, thank you for having us.
What a coup to get Wynton Marsalis here. Tell me how that happened.
It's a long story, but we tried to get him here in October, and things didn't work out, and he couldn't come back. And finally, about 3 months ago, the agent called and said, "Would you like to have Wynton come to Pensacola?" I said, "Sure, that'd be great." So we booked him for the 26th of July, and he's going to be here with his entire Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you would think that getting a talent that big would be pretty costly, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of arrangement that has come about for Pensacola State College. Talk to me about that.
Well, we received a tourism grant, and which pays for the entire production, both the artist fees and all that's related with the theater and sound and everything else, which makes the entire production through ticket sales and sponsorships a 100% deal. So every penny that we sell in tickets and sponsorships goes right back to our college in scholarships in our department and program enhancement.
Okay, so let's elaborate on that just a little bit, because this is a big deal, not just for the college, but it's going to impact the lives of students too, regarding scholarships and student activities, you said. So talk to me about that.
Right, it's going to impact us for a long time, actually, because that money some of the money is going to be used in an endowment so that it'll be perpetual scholarships. So it's going to help people way far down the road, long after I'm gone here. So we're excited about that and the opportunities for our students to get a good education.
Let's talk about the musician himself. First jazz musician to win a Pulitzer Prize. He hasn't been here since, did you tell me, 91?
91.
What is it about his music that captures our imagination and that makes him the genius that he is?
Well, the first thing is you got to know about his family. He's from New Orleans, and his dad taught at University of New Orleans, taught jazz there, and his whole family is talented. Branford Marsalis was the band leader for the Tonight Show, and he has a brother, Jason, plays drums, and Delphio plays trombone. But he transcends. He's really a virtuoso. He was when he was young. And he's not only versed in classical music, jazz, but also classical music. And he's done several classical albums. So he's the whole package. And on top of that, he's a wonderful composer. He won the Pulitzer Prize for Blood in the Fields, which was an opera that he wrote. And he's just really an icon, just like you said at the beginning. We're very excited to have him here.
And I would imagine this show's going to be a sellout.
Yes, we have about 400 VIP tickets that were on sale. We have about 100 left. The $45 tickets upstairs are almost all sold out. We have some $65 seats downstairs. So it's going to be a sellout, and it happens 1 month from today.
All right, so what we want to do is make certain that if you want to attend this, you get with the program here.
Right. For the VIP tickets, you call our department and ask for Kelly. And for the other tickets, you can go down to the Sanger Theater and pick them up, or you can order them on Ticketmaster.
Okay, and he won't be here alone.
Oh no, he's bringing the entire Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra's 15 players. Each one of them is a virtuoso on their own instrument. And so he'll have 5 saxophones, 3 trombones, 4 trumpets, including Winton, and the rhythm section of piano, bass, and drums.
Well, like you said, a once-in-a-lifetime event, and in the way that it's benefiting the college. And you know what? I also hear he's just a pretty nice guy, too.
He is. He is. And we hope that we can get him at the VIP reception before the show.
So this is an exciting event, not only for the community and for the college, but for a special group of younger students. Tell me about that.
That's right. This is called the Belmont Youth Band, and they're a group of kids that are taught by volunteers in the Belmont DeVillers area. And I asked them if they would like to play for Winton's band as they came out of the vans at the loading dock, and they were very excited about it. And so it's going to give them a chance to get up close to these fantastic musicians, and they might even jam with them. I don't know. We'll see.
How quickly did it take them to say yes when you asked the
question?
About
a half a second.
All right. Thank you so much, Don, for coming and talking with us about this. Thanks. And when we come back, PSC President Dr. Ed Meadows joins us in the studio. Right now, a look ahead to exciting happenings at Pensacola State College. Welcome back. You know, it's hard to believe that summer's just about over, and that means it's time for fall registration at Pensacola State. And here to talk with us about that, as well as many other exciting events taking place on campus and within the student body, is PSC President Dr. Ed Meadows. And Dr. Meadows, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Drexel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Before we jump ahead to fall, let's go back to April for just a moment. Of course, we all remember April when the floods came, and Pensacola State College, like so many other businesses, was adversely impacted by the rain. Talk to us about where things stand now.
Well, we hope that that April 29th rain is the flood of the century, meaning there will be another one, not another one like that, but we had 6 of our 8 buildings at the Warrenton campus that flooded, and 5 partial floodings on the Pensacola campus, and then our downtown center flooded. But I'm happy to report that most of our student services personnel have all moved back into their facilities at the Pensacola campus, and we are on schedule to be fully operational at all sites by July the 18th, which will be in time, of course, for the majority of the registrations that are occurring for fall, and certainly the opening up of classes this fall, August the 18th.
And that leads us, of course, to talk about fall registration. It's just happened just like that. The summer's just zipped by. Tell me how things are going with registration now.
Well, we're already in registration, of course, and things are moving along smoothly. You know, a lot of people probably have forgotten or did not know and need to be reminded that probably half or a little bit more than half of our student population is here for university transfer, Associate of Arts degree. And we're very fortunate in Florida. We led the nation in developing what is called the 2+2. And the 2+2 is a guarantee that if you complete an associate degree at one of the Florida state colleges, that you're guaranteed admission to one of our state universities. And that is a very important part of what we do at Pensacola State, is to ensure that students know that when they come here and take their general education or their pre-professional coursework or their pre-major work, that they're going to be able to attend one of our state universities. And we have something very special locally for those that intend to transfer to UWF. We have what's called the PSC to UWF agreement that will be signed in the very near future that will automatically admit students to UWF when they are admitted to Pensacola State College. So there'll be a part-time advisor from University of West Florida on our campus to advise students regarding streamlining their coursework for that AAS degree or the AS degree or the AA degree. If they plan to transfer to the university, they're guaranteed with an AA, and then most of the ASs are guaranteed, and the AAS, through special articulation agreements, can transfer as well.
Exciting news for the students who are in Pensacola State College now and planning to enroll in the fall and become a part of this family.
That's right, exactly right.
Okay, but not all the activity and the actions taking place in the classroom at Pensacola State College. There are some fun activities coming up involving the PSC alumni. Tell me a little bit about those.
Well, we've kicked off our Alumni Association, and Patrice Whitten is our executive director, and we have our board of directors. Sherry May Garden, our chamber president, is the president of our Alumni Association. And so we actually have 2 activities that are going to be occurring, but the one that is exciting to me, since I have a special interest in shotgunning, is a continental pheasant hunt, and that is November the 15th at Dennis Lake Wing Club in Bay Minette. And that all the proceeds there will go to benefit the Alumni Association and its activities. The Alumni Association also is going to have a Day at the Wahoo game in the near future where people that have graduated from the college that want to join or that have already joined the Alumni Association can go down to the area called Margaritaville at the downtown where the Wahoos play, and they'll be able to mix and mingle with others that have graduated or are taking classes at Pensacola State College.
Fun.
I do want to mention too that our College Foundation is very important to us, and they have a number of activities to raise money for universal scholarships and the Day of Clays, which is a sporting clay event at the Santa Rosa Shooting Center. That will be October the 4th. And so if you're, it's like shotgun golf, I've been told, if you're a shotgunner and you have an interest in shooting clay birds, that is a fun day where you get to enjoy others that enjoy the sport of shotgunning.
Okay, so exciting things happening now. One of the things that I've noticed that Pensacola State College is very good at doing, though, is growing the future, not just about what's going on at the moment, and that's part of what the Alumni Association is all about. But just recently, PSC's been growing the future by entertaining, or rather engaging, middle school students in the area of science. Talk to me about Pegasus.
Oh, the Pegasus Camp for Science and Technology has been a fabulous success for middle school girls to get girls interested in the STEM disciplines, and that is, of course, the science and technology and math disciplines. And we've had a wonderful experience with our biology, chemistry, physical science, and general science faculty leading the charge to do a number of exercises with this day camp on our campus. And we recently got a letter from a mom thanking us and said, my daughter comes home saying, I love science. And that's exactly what the goal of this program was.
Well, it's fun, too, because I was reading the information about the camp, and they get to do things like explode gummy bears. I mean, how fun is that if you're a middle school student? And look at they explore different types of science like astronomy, and as you said, the technology. And I hear it's just really popular with these students.
Well, I'm hoping that it will be an even larger camp next summer for young people that didn't really know that they enjoyed science as much as they're having fun now, and hopefully, you know, that will lead to them pursuing careers in science, which are very high paying once they graduate from college.
Absolutely. Another career field that interests a lot of students at Pensacola State College would be in the visual arts program. And I know that you've had some successes with the Addie Awards and some of your students. We're going to talk in another program about all of the wonderful student successes, but briefly touch, if you will, on the recent Addie Award winners from Pensacola State College.
Well, the visual arts is very important to the college for lots of reasons, but one reason is that it gives students the applied skills to go out and get a job in the industry, and we have this year 2 national Addie winners. There have only been 3 national Addie Award winners in Northwest Florida, and all 3 have come from Pensacola State College, and those include the professional realm, those that are already out in the profession. So our students have really excelled in the visual arts with that recognition at the local, regional, and the state and the national level.
All right, that's great. And again, we're going to talk some more about all of the success stories that are coming out of this college regarding the students. Well, let's see. Why don't you come back and we'll do that next month? What do you say?
That sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a winner. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Meadows, for joining us. When we come back, the photographer who continually fascinates the world with his photographs for National Geographic magazine prepares for a presentation at the Sanger Theater and a solo exhibition on the PSC campus. We'll return after this look ahead to other events and happenings coming your way soon. From his celebrated Afghan girl photograph that became an iconic National Geographic cover to his breathtaking landscapes of Tibet, Steve McCurry is recognized for capturing breathtaking images that span 6 continents and numerous countries. And now you will have the opportunity to view up close some of his work firsthand as Pensacola State College presents The Stories Behind the Photographs with Steve McCurry, and also a solo exhibition at the Anna Lamar Switzer Center. And joining us in the studio to talk about these events is Chris Lynn, who is Department Head of the Visual Arts Department at Pensacola State College. And welcome to Pensacola State today.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is quite impressive to have someone of this caliber be here for such an event. Tell us how this happened.
It is amazing. We're very fortunate to have this. This is the whole thing comes about because of a tourism grant we received, which allows us everything is paid for to bring him in, and so everything that we make off of this, from we're having the event at the Sanger. All the ticket sales are actually going to go for us probably into the beginning of a capital campaign to start some expansion. We are in dire need of growing the department over there. We've gotten to the point we've outgrown our facilities, which is a good thing.
Right,
Yes.
It is a good thing. We'll talk a little bit more about the specifics, when and where, as we progress in the interview. But I want to talk about the photographer himself, Steve McCurry. Mm-hmm. What is it about this photographer that makes his images so engaging for those of us? How do we connect with what he does?
He is one of those people that really has that gift of doing that. I mean, you see a lot of photographers that do, but for some reason his figures always stand out. He's really known for, many times he'll move into a country, stay there for a while, get to know the people, become part of the culture as much as he can, and which I think gives him that comfort level, or it gives the other people the comfort level, which allows him to get close enough to do these. Because obviously, if you're familiar with his work or you see his work, it's not like you just walk up to somebody and take a picture, particularly in a lot of the country he goes in. Mm-hmm. People are not easily approachable like that, so it's a whole cultural difference. So it does take a while to do that.
What can we expect to see at the event at the Sanger and then at the exhibition that will be at the Anna Lamar Switzer Center?
That's the great thing about it. It is a twofold thing. Steve McCurry will be in Pensacola on August the 27th and at the Sanger, and he will do a presentation that night and talk about stories about his photographs. That will be start at 6 o'clock that evening. Afterwards, there will be a VIP reception for the people who have bought those tickets. I think there's 400 of those available. And he will be there signing autographs, chatting with people, which is a really good thing too. We also, the second part of that is beginning on August the 18th, and it runs through all the way through December the 12th. We're going to have 74 of his images on display in the Switzer Center, which will be really nice. And the great thing about these too is they're not going to be behind glass. They are going to be actually just the photographs themselves out, so you can really get up and see these. One of the beautiful things about his work too is the fact that being a photojournalist, which is what he calls himself, he is not one of those people that goes in and does a lot of post-production. There's no photoshopping afterwards. I mean, everything you see is a straight capture. And I think for anybody who's done any kind of photography before, you know how difficult that can be. I mean, to get that shot right. I think it was like we were speaking earlier, many times it takes several hundred shots to get the one shot that you really want and is publishable.
Now, will there be a variety of works that we will see?
There will. I mean, he has, over the years that he has been a photographer, he's been to many places and done many things. So it will span. There's some South American countries, some Middle Eastern countries. It's going to be a large variety of different images. I think some that most people equate with Steve McCurry, the Afghan woman type portraits like that, and some that are probably not what you expect, but still beautiful work.
Put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite photograph of his, or do you like them all?
Honestly, once we had to curate the show to decide which 74 we were bringing, and we had to do that in conjunction with Mr. McCurry, it became really difficult to do. The more you look at these, the more you fall in love with all of his images. We did pick out a couple that the department as a whole we really enjoyed, and we're very fortunate he actually donated 2 of them for our permanent collection, which is just a fabulous thing, again, to add to what we already have here. So I would have to say those 2 right now, which people will be able to see at the show, are probably 2 of my favorite, because one encapsulates exactly what people think of him as a photojournalist, and the other has a more fine art kind of look to it, but just equally beautiful.
It shows the variety of his talent.
Really does.
Now, this is going to be a wonderful event for those of us in the community. It's also going to be super for some students. Talk to me about what's going to be happening in the balcony that night.
Well, what we're doing, and we had done this when we had the Cristo exhibition here a few years ago, we've had some sponsors who are going to come forward and purchase the tickets for the balcony seats, so we will be able to provide free seating for all of Pensacola State College's students that would like them. You know, if you have students who would like them, and many of the area high school art teachers will be in touch with them too and ask them to do that. So what'll happen is they can call the box office at the Sanger to find out the details, but I'm sure it's show up with your ID of some sort to be able to get that. But that's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And just go over with us again the dates and the times of these events.
Steve McCurry himself will be in town for the lecture and the talk and the showing of his work at the Sanger. That's going to be August the 27th at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
And then the exhibition will open up August the 18th, which is prior to that, obviously, and run the whole semester here. So it will be up until December the 12th. So hopefully everybody will have plenty of time to come by and see the exhibition and enjoy it.
Great. All right, Chris Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this exciting event.
Thank you.
All right. When we return, honoring two of PSC's finest instructors. We'll be right back. Recently, 6 instructors were honored for their dedication, hard work, and successes in the classroom. The honors were handed out at the Academy of Teaching Excellence Awards. We are highlighting 2 honorees per episode of Pensacola State Today. This time, we'd like to introduce you to Timothy Hathaway and Kristen Regan.
It came out in grad school. In grad school, you do 2 things. You teach and you do research. And usually what you end up wanting to do after grad school kind of is decided by which one of those you like doing more. And it's not that I didn't like research, but teaching was definitely, I kept looking forward to every time I had to go to class. I just wanted to teach. And this place, I found an opening on the American Chemical Society website, and I jumped at it. With chemistry, you already have to know a little bit of math. You have to have had some natural science. You have to have a little bit of logic and critical thinking skills just to start it. So there's a lot to start with, but that's why I try to start with things that they already know. We're talking about different applications of how you make the artificial and natural flavors in candies, or pharmaceuticals like barbiturates. And this is a lot like the hydrates and the acetals from the last chapter. There's a lot more to chemistry than just learning the periodic table. It's how do you use the knowledge, not just what is the knowledge.
You use hard light or soft light? Soft light. I teach photography 1, which is traditional black and white darkroom photography. I teach color photography, which is traditional wet lab color photography. Commercial photo 1 and commercial photo 2, which is advanced lighting techniques. A lot of students are surprised when they first get to the class. They tell me, "Oh, I've got my, my Canon Rebel XSI," and I said, "Well, in this class, you're going to be using a mechanical 35mm camera." Some of them have never, seen a roll of film or had pictures printed from a roll of film. Leave things the way they are right now. The reason that we start with analog is so that they really get the basics. It's something that I think that you kind of get hooked on that. It's the hand of the artist. You can really feel the difference between film and a digital print. But I want to give them the opportunity to expand on what the assignment is, to be able to learn more about it.
And that will wrap it up for this edition of Pensacola State Today. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next time.